I'm gonna smash your boy, guys.
I'm Naruto Luma.
Y'all must have forgot. Gotta be very careful.
海賊王になるのは俺だ。
Welcome back to Never Bored with George. I'm your host, George. I'm with my co-host here,
Jason.
And today we will be reviewing and giving you our top 10 moments of the UFC for 2021. Guys, UFC this year was amazing. 2021 was one of the most monumental years for the UFC, not just on adapting to COVID, but delivering on cards well beyond what they were supposed to and more. And guys, we have our top 10 moments of 2021 in the UFC here for you today. It was so hard making this because there was so much to go over and talking about. It's probably one of the largest honorable mentions we've ever had in a while. So this is going to be a great episode to go over our top 10 moments for UFC in 2021. So guys, to kick it off, let's start off with number 10. Dominic Reyes versus Yuri Prochazka. Guys, this fight happened on May 1st. It was a fight night card, but guys, it definitely had everything you needed to call a main event.
Yep.
Two light heavyweight contenders on their own already are badasses, but we have Dominic Reyes, who, you know, at the time, I think he only lost to Jan Blachowicz for the title. The other loss before that was the split decision loss to John Jones, where a lot of the fans were split, you know,
On who won, yeah.
Exactly. So, in a top prospect in Dominic Reyes versus Yuri Prochazka, no one knew this fight was going to be fireworks, especially none of us knew that Yuri Prochazka was going to show what it means to be literally the most craziest man alive and do two, like, he was a Beyblade, literally two elbows to Dominic Reyes' face. Jason, let me know, man. What are your thoughts on this?
Man,
fight?
like one thing we did is we just kind of rewatched all the fights before we started just to remember what it was, and just watching that fight again, man, it was like watching it for the first time, because it's like it's amazing how
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Prochazka is a talented light heavyweight fighter, man. Like his hands, what he can do with his elbows, man, is unreal.
Dude.
And what he did to Dominic Reyes is even more unreal.
Oh god, like we said before, this list was so hard to make, and for this reason you'll see why, because our number 9 pick for our top 10 moments for 2021 UFC is Conor McGregor versus Poirier 2.
Just to begin, right? They had their first fight. That one was a very emotional fight because Conor was talking a lot of crap. Poirier did not take it well, and that cost him that fight, I think, because he fought emotionally, not with his skills.
Exactly,
I feel like.
exactly.
And then when we got to this fight, all the trash talk was gone. Conor, you know, he kind of changed his way of how he approaches his fights. He wasn't talking a lot of trash. I remember they were like
swapping
hot
merch
sauce and
proper 12.
So I was like, okay, this is very weird. Like, I don't know, I didn't know really what to think about it. I was like, this is interesting. This is different. When we got to the fight, man, you know, ring rust can be real at times, because what we saw is Conor McGregor hasn't fought in what I think it had been over a year.
I think on top of that, he was preparing for a match against Manny Pacquiao.
Right. He was kind of looking past Poirier in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I remember while we were watching the fight, they were saying he had kind of changed his stance.
Yeah.
He was more of a boxing style.
Yeah.
And that can be a problem when you focus too much on one type of your game, because then you're not giving time or giving focus to the other, like ground game, wrestling, everything else, right?
Exactly.
So the leg kicks, man. The leg kicks. Poirier was a smart guy. He did a lot of leg kicks, and Conor did not check a single one, and that broke him. And then at the end, you know, Poirier with the insane knockout with the biggest
beautiful hook. Oh my god, insane!
It was insane. And then after that, you know, Conor became a meme with the sleeping meme. Like
yes.
And I mean, that's why we put it at number 9, man. Like.
Right.
We could this. It could be debatable that it could even be higher, but you know, we just have so many fights that this was a solid.
Exactly.
Number 9,
that to show that 2021 was one of the best years in the UFC. A Conor McGregor pick is number 9.
Yeah, which is crazy. Just crazy.
Oh my god, man. For number 8, we have Jan Blachowicz with Glover Teixeira. Talk about underdog story, bro. We're talking Glover Teixeira, a guy who's already fought for the title, to come back being the oldest UFC title contender, and on top of that, the oldest champion to ever become champ. Oh my goodness, guys! If you know the story of Glover Teixeira, you know how hard it was for him to get to the UFC. On top of that, being in the UFC, losing to John Jones, and then to come back in a way unlike anything we've ever seen before, with a great run, And with the great fight against Jan Blachowicz, it's even crazier because the same Jan Blachowicz, his last fight beforehand, was defending his title against Israel Adesanya.
Right.
So that alone just shows that Glover Teixeira really's got what it takes to show that his experience, his skill, his tenacity, and his mettle are what makes him a champion. And he showed that night. Insane night on October 30th for UFC 267. Insane.
When we were going to that fight, I remember watching that fight. I was like, oh, I honestly think Jan's gonna win only because of the age thing.
Right.
I really underestimated what Glover could do because I was like, this guy's like 40 years old.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
What are the chances he's gonna be a Jan that literally just beat Adesanya?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean, I know Glover's he's very good at his grappling too.
Mm-hmm.
But like with the age, I'm like, man, how's he gonna last these 5 rounds? And I saw a side of Glover that I didn't expect at all.
Mm-hmm.
If I was betting for that fight, I was gonna pick Jan all the way. But after seeing that, I was like, man, you can't underestimate age sometimes, man.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen in these fights.
We forget that his age just seems to like overshadow his accomplishment.
Yeah.
This is the same Glover Teixeira that went up against Lionheart Smith.
Yes.
Another prospect and knocked his teeth out.
Yeah, true.
So again, like we know age is a number and that seems to be a highlight, but Glover Teixeira proved that old is still gold.
yeah.
Congrats to Glover Teixeira for securing that title in the 2021. Definitely can contend that this was his year to win a
Yes.
title at such an old age.
Yes.
But at the same time, proving that he did it in such a dominant fashion.
And against a worthy opponent too.
Exactly.
Jan's not a joke. So
Exactly.
Just to show his skills, man.
Guys, our 7th pick was one of the best fights we saw all year. It is Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega. Jason, I want you to go first on this one, brother.
That fight was pure entertainment, man.
Oh my god.
The amount of times that Volkanovski showed his true champion power and champion will against a Brian Ortega that was close to like 3 submissions in the fight.
Yes.
Was insane.
And those
bro.
weren't joke of submissions,
No,
bro.
We had Brian was doing his best submissions.
Armbar, guillotine. Like, he got him in like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu
Rear naked
catalog.
choke almost
like,
too, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which to see like him be able to get to those situations and Volkanovski survive that.
Yes.
And then capitalize immediately.
Right.
Turn around, get on top, ground and pound, which was insane to see.
Alexander Volkanovski proved that he is a champion worthy of being called the champ.
Exactly.
Consider one of the greatest right now because considering the level of opponents he fought consistently and on top of that, the situations he's been in, no one wants to be on the ground against a BJJ black belt.
Yeah.
Especially in someone as dangerous as Brian Ortega. And the fact that he was there, wasn't afraid to grapple in those positions, and when he was in those hard positions, fight out of it, it really showed that Alexander Volkanovski is truly worthy of being a champion. No question, no doubt anymore. 2022 is going to be an interesting year for Alexander Volkanovski because now he got the respect now.
Yeah.
If he doesn't even have before, he has it now, being
Oh.
truly a worthy champion.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, our number 6 pick was Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler on UFC 262. That took place on May 15th. And guys, all right, I'm gonna set the stage on this.
Yes.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, considered the best at lightweight to ever do it, dips, vacates the title, and the question is, who is going to step up to become the next champion? 2 contenders rose. Former Bellator champ, rising prospect in the UFC, Michael Chandler versus, oh my god, at the time and even still, leading submission artist,
Yes.
leading finisher in the lightweight division, Charles Oliveira steps up. And my god, guys, that fight was a roller coaster. Despite only ending in round 2, it had all the hallmarks of being an all-star fight.
Yes.
From the back and forth and almost defeated Charles in the first round.
Yeah.
To the shocking comeback KO round 2 with a perfect left hook. Charles Oliveira secured his title of becoming the next champion after Khabib Nurmagomedov.
That fight was such an interesting fight because I remember when we were watching it. First round, Michael Chandler catches him,
Yes.
drops him. I'm like, oh, this fight's over. Chandler's the new champion. He just came from Bellator. He's out here just taking the title out of, just taking the championship out of nowhere. But, you know, literally Charles Oliveira, he rolls out of it and gets into a position where Michael Chandler's on top of him, and he saves himself because if he stayed in the same position he was, that fight would have been over.
Right.
And he saved himself, got into the second round, and you know that's where everything changed. Man, Charles Oliveira showed that he might be as known as a submission artist, but he got hands, man.
He got hands for sure.
He knocked out Michael Chandler
Oh.
with the left.
Oh my God, man! Insanity, and we already know the metal of how tough Michael Chandler could be.
Yes.
So seeing how someone like Charles Oliveira beat against the odds, deliver a precise left hook like that to really turn the tide of that match, really highlights how great Charles Oliveira really is as a stand-up.
That's the thing. Another thing is we didn't even add this to the list, but another fight that happened this year is Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier.
Yes,
We didn't even get to add it on the list, but that that itself was another amazing fight. That I'm just
Honestly,
mentioning it now.
we can put that in tie with number 6. We'll
I
add him.
know.
We'll add him. Charles Oliveira just takes number 6.
Six.
No matter what fight, he gets number 6.
Yeah.
Because to your point, Jason, I mean, honestly, again, we were talking about how hard this list was to make. It was because the debut of Charles Oliveira on a KO was insane. But even then, bro, like, you know what? Let's just make number 6 to Charles versus Dustin.
Dustin also, yeah.
That just reaffirmed that he does belong as a champ as well.
Yes.
The fact that he's able to not only even though he wasn't winning some of the striking exchanges, he was
Right.
still showing that he's going to tough it out
Yes.
and find his opportunity. Those body shots against Dustin,
Yes.
the ground game against Dustin, ultimately the submission against
At the
Dustin
end, yes.
was all hallmarks of showing that you can't overlook Charles Oliveira anymore. You just
Yeah.
can't. He is the champ. He's probably going to have a good reign as champ. If anything, no matter what fight he's in, you're going to see it because he's
Yes.
got the jiu-jitsu, he's got the grappling, he's got the striking there to really put on an entertaining fight and be worthy of the champion.
Yes.
Number 5, guys. You know, we can't put we can't make this list without some of the big boys. And let's talk about one of the greatest heavyweight fights we have ever seen, and KOs we've ever seen, and Stipe versus Francis Ngannou 2 at UFC 260 on May 27th. And guys, let's just say none of us, we all knew that Francis Ngannou was learning and improving
Yes.
over time, but
Yes.
little did we know that between his first fight with Stipe and the second fight with Stipe,
Yeah.
that we'd have 2 totally different fighters fighting against Stipe Miocic.
Yeah. I watched some of the first fight, and in that first fight, Stipe really showed what it means to be a all around overall good fighter. Because he took Francis down,
Yes.
kept him on the ground
Yes.
a lot of the fight,
Yes.
made him get gassed out.
Exactly.
But this fight was completely different because Francis improved his striking and more precise and not just heavy punches,
Right.
and more precision and also good work. What is it?
Wrestling defense.
Wrestling defense.
Yes.
And that was very evident in this fight. Literally out of nowhere, Stipe gets caught, and then we're like, "Oh, this fight's about to be over." But then Stipe, somehow escapes what was it?
What with the clinch control?
Clinch control, right? And then he goes out and he gets a good one on Francis, and he's like, "Oh, I got him." He goes in. Francis out of nowhere comes with a nice punch in the face and drops Stipe on the ground right there. Does not get up for.
I don't even think drop is the right word. Have you seen a redwood tree like fall?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really what it looked
Right,
like.
right,
You saw a giant, sturdy tree with legacy just
Yes.
timber over. Oh my God, guys, that like to
His
Jason
leg his
buckled
leg was like
because
bent,
he
it
just
like-
was gone, bro. He was gone, and I'm like, look, we already knew Francis Ngannou was known for his terrifying knockout power.
Right.
Now imagine that skill set expanded with wrestling,
Right.
takedown defense, jiu-jitsu, boxing, and fine-tuning his striking to where he is not only, you already know his one punch can knock you out,
Yes.
but now that one punch is even harder to avoid as someone is getting skilled as Francis
Yes.
Ngannou.
Right.
Really makes things exciting for the heavyweight. And let's again, if we're talking about 2020, let's talk about 2022. This fight really set the different stages of
Yes.
John Jones, Cyril Gane, a lot of these up and coming heavyweights coming up to make this division way more interesting, guys.
Yes.
So 2021 really had great moments in heavyweight, but for us, it belonged to number 5 with Stipe versus Francis Ngannou 2. Guys, here it is. We're at number 4. Again, guys, this list gets harder and harder, but this one felt like worthy of this list for sure. It is Rose Namajunas versus Weili 1.
Yes, sir.
My God, guys. I don't think you guys understand how crazy this fight was because we already knew Thug Rose was already going to bring in the fight, but we saw the rise of Weili throughout the years to the point of
Yes.
her becoming a very dominant, precise champ. Let's not
Yes.
forget, this is the same Weili that fought against Jonas Jacek
Yes.
and literally turned her into E.T. Melonhead. The same every time you see Weili fight, it's just a pure epicness to see.
Yes.
And for all that hype and momentum to be taken out with a leg kick in round 1 that dropped her. Insanity, bro. Jason, bro. I don't know how else to describe it, Jason. What do you think, bro?
Dude, Wei Li was a fighter that was the favorite to win this fight against Namajunas. Namajunas was the underdog in this fight.
Yes.
I think even me, I wasn't really sure on who was going to win. I think I was probably leaning towards Wei Li. And she had just viciously beaten Joanna. Like you said, made her into a melon head. We get into this fight, we're like, oh, what's going to happen? First round, we're like, oh, I'm pretty sure Wei Li's going to take her down or something.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Namajunas, you know, checking range and all that, and out of nowhere, with the left foot, catches her in the face just so quickly for that fight to be done was insane to watch. And you know, after that I was like, how could I ever like even, you know, disrespect Namajuna's Thug Rose like that? Because she is a different animal, different beast at this game.
Exactly. What makes this one even more sweeter is because we got the rematch for
Yes,
them
we
after
did.
2. And even then, Rose still edged out on the skill set as well.
Yeah.
So to prove that not only can Rose return as champ, but still defend that belt in dominant fashion, in a skilled fashion. Rose isn't just here to be a thug with luck. She's here with thug with skill.
Yes.
So that really solidified what it means to be a champ there. And congratulations on Rose Namajunas for getting back her title. Rose Namajunas is a great champion, and I can't wait to see her keep going on for what's next.
Yes.
Brendan Moreno versus Davison Figueroa 2. Assassin Baby came in against one of the hardest fights at flyweight to not only come off a draw against him, but to win and submit Davison Figueroa. Insane, bro. Insane.
We're gonna see a 3 to that too.
Yes, that's one of the first cards in January, guys. So it's gonna be insane to see how the third one's gonna go. But both fighters are amazing. I love Assassin Baby so much, bro. Brendan Moreno's amazing.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what's next. All right, another honorable mention we have is Jan Villante versus Chris Barnett. That was the most insane display of martial arts I've ever seen, bro. To freaking do I don't even know what kind of kick is it. A spinning back kick to the side of the head of Villante. That was insane to say the least. I know that Chris Barnett debuted against a different UFC fighter at heavyweight earlier, and he lost in decision. But for him to come back, take the call again, and win in such a ridiculously crazy way was insane to the least. Another honorable mention, guys, we have is Alex Pereira's debut against Andreas Michailidis. I can't say his name. It's okay. But, guys, at UFC 268, we saw one of the world's best kickboxers, one of the only people to ever KO Israel Adesanya debut in the UFC, and he debuted with fashion. A flying knee to the face, insanity. His prospects are going to look insane. And imagine him fighting for the belt against a former opponent he defeated in a different sport. That's going to be insane, guys. Enough said about that. Let's go on to our next honorable mention. Next, we have Sean O'Malley versus Chris Solis Martino.
What a fight to watch. This was on the Conor McGregor card.
Yes.
You know? And Sean O'Malley had another opponent, but what happened was they dropped out last minute. And this guy, Chris Montino, he was a painter. He was painting before this. He, out of nowhere, he gets a call, hey, you want to be in this fight? You want to fight Sean O'Malley? He was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. This guy comes in with his green hair and shows amazing toughness, bro. I have never seen someone take this much punches from Sean O'Malley and not get dropped.
Yes.
He got dropped, but he
kept getting up and kept moving forward. Dude, this guy his soul's made of vibranium, bro.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, bro, Sean O'Malley at the end of the fight had his hands broken from punching Chris Martino in the face, but no one else in that same weight division was ready to fight a rising prospect like Sean O'Malley.
Oh, yes.
He stepped up. Got to secure the UFC deal after that. All respect to you, Chris Martino. Congratulations, brother. I can't wait to see you keep moving in this UFC division. Another honorable mention, Shane Burgos versus Edson Barbosa. Y'all, we already know this channel's like MMA and anime, but I've never seen anime come to life in a way with a delayed teleport, like a delayed knockout. Dude, Edson Barbosa goes for the best hooks. Shane Burgos walks to like he's a tough guy, and all of a sudden his brain's like, oh,
I gotta go.
I'm actually this punch actually is turning me to and just loses it.
Bro.
Dude, that just shows how crisp and insane Edson Barbosa is, bro. So insane to say the least. This year was the year for Corey Sandhagen. Let's just talk about his KO Frankie Edgar really quick. Out of nowhere, just drops him and secures his chance to go for a belt. then fights against TJ Dillashaw.
Yes.
So close to the fight.
Yes.
Amazing striking to see,
Yes.
but DJ Dillashaw debut showing back that he still has what it takes to be a champ.
Right.
No skin off Corey Sandhagen's back. And then also him fighting Peter Yan, an amazing striking matchup, just losing the decision again. Corey Sandhagen has a lot to look forward to because next year's just going to be more amazing fights for him. Can't wait to see you go again, Corey.
Yes, sir.
Next, one of my personal favorite honorable mention on the list, Edson Barboza versus Giga Chikadze.
When I saw that fight, I was like, holy shit. We have Edson Barboza on this list for taking down Shane Burgos, but what Giga just did to Edson on this fight was mad. Edson Barboza is a very talented
One of the best kickboxers to ever grace the UFC.
Yeah.
Yes.
The amount of body kicks he threw and leg kicks that were exchanged during this fight, I was like, man, I don't know how this fight is gonna keep going. And out of nowhere, Giga caught him, dropped him.
I've never seen someone outstrike Edson Barboza
Yes.
before, and for him to be outstruck in such this high speed fashion.
Yeah.
I was watching an anime. Giga Chikadze is an anime character. Our final honorable mention on the list.
Gosh.
Both final honorable mentions both belong to Max Holloway. Let's start with his fight against Yair Rodriguez. Even though it's the later fight towards the end of the year, what an amazing fight it was for a fight night. To have Yair Rodriguez return from a layoff and to debut against Max Holloway,
Yeah.
one of the most dangerous fighters in his division,
Yep.
and to look as good as he did, but also showing Max Holloway being ready for any game for any type of fighter as
Yeah.
dynamic as Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Insane to say the least. My God, guys. And then on top of that, Max Holloway entering the Matrix against Calvin Kattar. He really showed
Beginning
that.
of the year, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, honestly, featherweight, featherweight was so exciting this year. Max Holloway really showed that he really is one of the best fighters.
Dude, my favorite line in that fight, I'm the best boxer in the UFC, baby. And while he's saying that, lands a punch.
Dude, lands
Doesn't
a
even
punch,
look.
dodges, bro. Jason, you already know been watching Neverboard with Naruto. You
Yeah.
already know that's the Sharingan. Right
Literally,
there.
yeah,
And the
that's-
Byakugan just, I don't need to look.
Dude.
Bob. Insanity, bro. Insanity. Ooh, guys, we have made it to our top 3 picks. Guys, I don't think you understand how hard it was to make this list. We keep saying it, but once you hear our top 3 guys, you will understand why it was so hard to pick a number 1. For our third epic moment of 2021, we have to give it to our favorite fight of the year.
Yes. Fight of the year, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, man. What a fight, man. They showed why they are the top 5 in the top 5 of the lightweight division, man. To see Justin Gaethje, you know, after his last fight being against Khabib, come here and show that, you know, even after such a long layover of not fighting for a while, he was able to dominate and show that he won't. Because I remember in that fight, the first round, Michael Chandler caught him, man.
Yeah.
And he was like, he got wobbly. Because Justin Gaethje, sometimes when he gets wobbly, like I'm like, oh man, oh my god, please don't lose. But he still finds a way, and came back, and you know, this fight went off. Was it a 3-round or 5-round? Oh my god, I can't.
It's 3 rounds.
Man,
it was a
should have been a 5-round fight.
Oh my god.
But yes, dude, they stood there, took shots from each other the whole time, and you know, Justin Gaethje won by decision, but a dominant decision. He showed that he won that fight clearly.
I mean, to be honest, Jason, for me though, what I loved about this fight wasn't just the dominance of Justin Gaethje, but the entertainment value that Michael Chandler brought. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter get hit in the face so many times, and it's like, come on, keep going,
that's
keep
true,
going.
very
He
true.
kept getting hit and kept moving forward. He had to borrow some Chris Solis energy, bring
Yes.
back some of his Bellator
Yes.
energy, and be like, I need to be UFC right now, bro.
Yes.
And even though I had wished Michael Chandler would have fought more carefully, what we got was an amazing fight for the ages. One of the best fights we've ever seen. A slobber knocker of a fight. For Michael Chandler to take that level of punishment and just keep delivering out, to mixing it up, to trying to do wrestling, even when getting dropped a couple times, use the wrestling to save himself against the wrath of Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje showing improvements from his fight with Khabib, being more technical with his striking too, delivering haymakers, but for Michael Chandler to be truly the Iron Michael and just eat all that. My God, guys, what an amazing fight. For one of the best fights we've ever seen, it had to be number 3, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Amazing fight. Our number 2 pick is Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal 2, where Kamaru Usman KO'd one of the best strikers in welterweight. Oh my God.
Not just that, he had only been knocked out once before this.
Jorge Masvidal
had only been knocked out one time in a loss before this.
Yes.
And this is the second person to do it.
Yes.
that shows what Usman is able to do with his hands, man.
For a collegiate wrestler to go into the game, be as dominant as he is, and then to level up in striking under Trevor Whitman's camp.
Yes.
It was insane to see that, to show that Usman's jab is just as strong as his takedown defense. We're talking about a fighter who doesn't get taken down, and for him to show that, I choose where this fight goes, and if I want to strike you, I'm gonna strike. If I want to wrestle, I'm gonna wrestle you. He said a statement this year that really showed that even if he did beat Gilbert Burns, there was still a lot of questions that remained for this fight against Jorge Masvidal.
Yes.
And we did see some improvements of Jorge Masvidal on that wrestling, but ultimately his concern about the wrestling kept his hands open, where Kamaru Usman, the champion, capitalized on that and delivered one of the best knockouts we've ever seen. And to the point where even Jorge Masvidal, look, as a fight fan, I have to respect it. And I love seeing that Kamaru on fighters, but this really showed that Kamaru Usman really deserves to be pound for the pound best in the world right now, because he really did show that no matter what fighter comes in front of me, Colby, Tyron, anyone, Gilbert, Jorge, anyone, he's ready. He's worthy of being a champion for his division and being considered one of the greatest of all time to do it. Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal 2 really is our number 2 pick.
Yeah,
for
and
2021.
And also, just to mention, the UFC actually put Usman as the fighter of the year. And I know why, because of how dominant he was this year. He fought 3 times.
Yes.
And he fought top level guys.
Exactly.
Every single fight.
He fought Gilbert, Covington again, and Jorge again.
Yes.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
What is number 1? Here it is, guys. Our number 1 pick for 2021. Our favorite moment of the UFC for this year. It goes to the greatest upset in the sports history. Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes. Dethroning of the GOAT. 2-division champion Amanda Nunes, the GOAT. The GOAT of women's MMA. And one of the best to ever do it in the sport, regardless of gender. Period.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For her to defend her belt, a different belt again, against Juliana Pena, who did come off a loss against Jermaine Duranami, but then also had some victories this year too. Juliana Pena did not give up on herself.
Yes.
Despite the media, the fans, Amanda Nunes fans, general fight fans, casuals.
Yes.
Everyone was doubting Juliana Pena.
Yep.
Exactly. Everyone. I can't really blame them considering the accolades Amanda has, to be not only a double champ, but a double champ to continuously defend both belts at the same time.
Yeah.
It was already a feat of its own. So, of course, as regular fans may think that, okay, there's maybe really Juliana Pena just being sent in there just to make Amanda Nunes look good. Then for her to come back at bantamweight to defend her belt after nearly 1 or 2 years of competition since defending that.
Right.
Even still, some of the fans were still, most of the fans were still like, nah, Amanda Nunes is going to steamroll her. Go check the YouTube comments. Check everyone. They all say the same thing. They're like, oh, Amanda's going to steamroll her.
Yeah.
And guess what happened, guys? The biggest upset in the sports history happened that night. Oh my God. Juliana Pena said she wasn't afraid of Amanda Nunes. She proved it. She said she was going to beat her and proved it. And she said she was going to do it in a dominant fashion and proved it.
Yes.
Guys, the reason why I put this number 1 mostly is because it's a lesson that despite what anyone says, if you believe yourself and are willing to dig down and do everything and anything you can to fight. That's why we love the sport of UFC and MMA, guys. It's because even if you were considered the best of the best in the world, which Amanda still is, you can get your chance at glory by believing in yourself, training constantly, and having that championship heart mentality to never give up. And even when Juliana Pena was losing some of round 1, it would look like that first hit Amanda literally kind of threw her off. We're like, oh my God, it was a wash. No, Juliana bit on her mouth guard and was like, no, I'm going to keep going. And then once that round was over, a good reset. Round 2 happened. We got a slugfest. But Juliana Pena showed that she's got what it takes to be the tougher, stronger, and more fly opponent in this case. And guys, honestly, just because this is already deserved to be number 1 just because of the biggest upset, but considering how the level of upset against a former 2-division champion former. I'm sorry, guys, but it's the truth. You put some respect on Juliana Pena's name because she delivered, bro.
I was that fan that was like, nah, Amanda Nunes is gonna win this fight, no chance. I was like, what is Juliana gonna do? I mean, this is gonna be just another fight for Amanda Nunes where she just dominates and wins, right? And another thing, Amanda hadn't lost since 2014.
Exactly.
So it's been so long since she's had a loss in her record.
Exactly.
So I was like, oh, no chance. But just to show that what heart Juliana had in this fight and to dominate in striking and get her tired and then drop her on top of that is insane, man. When Amanda Nunes was flattened on the ground, I was like, no, what the heck is going on right now? This is a Brazilian fighter that's about to get... Basically, she's quitting.
She got taken down.
She got taken down.
Juliana had great crisp control, and then all of a sudden switched levels and took Amanda down to secure that win. My God, guys! But what an amazing year 2020 has been in the UFC. The biggest upsets, biggest underdogs, biggest knockouts, biggest cards we've ever seen.
Yes.
It's only going to get better in 2022, guys. We already know a couple fight announcements have already been made. A lot of the fights up until March have already been announced.
Yeah.
So if everything stays, guys, we already have an exciting new kickoff with a lot of championship fights in the works, a lot of great moments to come. Guys, stay tuned for more content for the Never Bored crew. Guys, a lot of MMA, anime content on the way. Guys, do us a favor, subscribe for more content, like this video if you liked our list. And guys, thank you guys for watching our breakdown, our top 10 moments of 2021 in the UFC.
Yes.
MMA, UFC was such an exciting sport this year, and I can't wait to see what 2022 has in store for us.
And also, let us know what you guys think your list is. Is your list different from ours? Is it similar? Let us know what you guys think and what your list would be like.
Exactly, guys. Let us know what your thoughts were on our list. Give us your list. Give us some moments that we missed that you think should have been mentioned in honorable mentions as well. Guys, give us a comment of what content you want to see from us this year as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good one. I'm joined by my buddy here
Jason.
and my co-host, Jason. Y'all have a good one. Guys, get ready. 2022 is our year for the UFC, our year to take over, and our year to be badass. Guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a good one. Peace.